This is your Jomba Mobili Mogodi. Welcome back to the channel. On 18th and 19th April 2026, I spent the weekend in Nyeri County, in Karatina to be specific. I was invited there by a group of young Kenyans who organized a football tournament for the Karatina youth with zero political backing and zero political financing. This is just a group of young Kenyans who came together, put money up, and they organized a football tournament for the young people of Nyeri to basically keep them off the streets and, most importantly, get them registered to vote. This video, I am interviewing Frank and Nate. Frank is the one who reached out to me via DM and on Twitter, on X, and he invited me to Nyeri, to Karatina. And then Nate is one of the organizers who was part of the team that came together to do this event. Please watch these interviews. And also the main person, the chairman of that group, is called Stephen Ghost Mwangi, who has a separate interview, which I will share the link in the caption below, where he spoke about his abduction and torture by President Ruto and his rogue DCI. Please enjoy this short story, listen to these young people speak, and let them inspire you to do great things for the Republic of Kenya. Asanteni. Welcome back to the Mobili Mogodi TV show. I am here joined by one special person. Tafadhali jitambulishe.
Jina ni Nathan ama Gatimu, rugby referee, Kenya rugby referee, also a rugby coach, also a teacher by profession. I'm also diverse. I also head the security for MCA, Stephen, that is alias Ghost. Basically, that's Nathan.
Nathan, tell us, you are one of the organizers who came up with the idea to have this football tournament for the youth. What kind of challenges have you faced while organizing this event here in Karatina Stadium?
Thank you, Mogodi. This tournament was basically for the youth. That's why you saw that it was themed for the youth. Because we have had tournaments in the past where we have had very many youths sidelines, which did not sit well with us. This tournament goes in two phases. That is, we have the youth and we have the under 15. Today was the youth tournament. Then on Sunday, next Sunday, that is day 26, was the under 15. So basically the challenges we have faced is one, from the county. We have a very, I don't want to call it shitty government, but that is the state.
This is the Mobili Mogodi show. You can say whatever you want, how you feel. Hapa sio KTN, hatuna censoring hapa. Wewe ongea.
Yes, apparently we have a very shitty government. In fact, we use our funds to clear this place because if you check around there were so many bushes and a very blocked toilets over there, which there are some funds that were allocated for this. Then we had the county saying that we had to pay for this tournament, which did not sit well with us because they did not provide any funds for marking the field, any funds for clearing these bushes, yet they expect us to pay. Remember, we have also paid for electricity bills in this place. We have also paid for water bills in this place, which basically that's not our work. What we need is things to work. So we had to put in our funds, bring in our funds. Remember, we are not sponsored by anyone. I say on this show, we are not sponsored by anyone. We sponsor ourselves. And for those who chip in, the politicians, well and good, they assist. But basically, it's sisi kwa sisi. I think you've heard us say sisi kwa sisi. That's why you see that so many youths came in, not because we paid them to come or whatever. No, it was basically sisi kwa sisi. So the government really failed us, the county government, because they even shut this gate the other day, claiming that we had to first pay so that you can get in. But this is a public facility; it needs to be open to the public. So then we had a public participation the other day. I think it was Thursday. Then we try to get there. They tell us that there is a meeting of stakeholders. Mobili, who are stakeholders in this country?
The citizens, no?
Nisisi, we're the stakeholders. So when I went there by the way, and they told me to wait outside. That it's a meeting of stakeholders. It's a public participation. I think they don't understand what the meaning of public participation is for the public, not stakeholders. But if you talk about stakeholders, then I'll tell you that stakeholders necessity. Exactly. So basically those are the challenges. Ukiangalia pale ile maji tulilipia the whole day washakata wametoa. So sahi hatuna maji pale. So it's hectic, and you're telling this county government, you failed us. You failed us.
County government of
Nyeri, led by you Governor Kahiga. Nimekwambia umetukosea, and you need to go down and check your county government. Put your offices in order. Put your offices in order. We don't need anything else. We just need things to work. That's all we want. In fact, let me take you back to 2024. We went to the streets because things were not working. And it's not that we were idle. It's because we want things to work. If systems cannot work, then I don't think we need this government. It's just for formality then. If things can't work, then you failed.
Tell us about the political scene. I'm seeing a lot of young people who are rising up to take political positions. Talk to us about that in here in Karatina.
So thank you. So for the young people, we have these forums where we come and discuss about our stands, and we have been brought together by one Stephen Mwangiwahu, that is Ghost, and he has ensured that we come together, we talk about our challenges, because basically it's a time for the youth to come up and take these leadership positions. So he has urged so many youths in Karatina, in Madera, and in Nyeri. Remember, this one is also this one is a former Kikuyu Council of Elder. That is Kenyatta University. He was the chairman. So he has also mobilized these youths from Kenyatta University. They come, we discuss our challenges, and we also urge each other that it's time for us to take these positions. So we have so many projects. We have a CBO, a registered CBO, that is the Sisi kwa Sisi movement. Also under that, we formed the Ghost movement. Remember, we are the youth who are supposed to take these positions. We don't form these associations or forums for other people to lead us. We lead ourselves. So that is how Stephen has come and brought us together so that we can take leadership. Remember, also in Nyeri County, we have the Nyeri Comrades. So this is a blanket of the whole foundation. So under that foundation, we have branched so many forums that we cannot break down here because there are so many.
Tell us about rugby in Nyeri County specifically.
When I talk about rugby in Nyeri County, I get very agitated because one, we are seeing so many youths. In fact, in this field where we are at right now, there was some funds that were allocated for the H. In rugby, we call them the H, those masts. They end up very high. I think you've seen them in these very many fields.
Kama goalposts.
Exactly, the goalpost. So when we saw that some funds were allocated and they were not elected, we were devastated. Outside Karatina, so many youths in Karatina, by the way, go up to Karatina University, though a few kilometers from here. So that is to and from. So when we see youths going all the way to Karatina for passion, yet we have our very own field here, it's heartbreaking. Remember, I told you, Mwagodi, that I am a Kenya rugby referee. When I see that we're having the circuits, yet we don't even have the circuit in our own Nyeri County, which was happening some years back. I'm left to wonder what happened, because my friends ask me, We have so many circuits that you invite us to go and watch. Why don't we have a circuit in Nyeri County? Remember, we have a circuit in Embu, the Embu circuit, and this one is kicking off in around July. So it's also devastating that we don't have these rugby games in our own. So the other day we had Karatina University was Vijana. Basically, that's where we go and support that team, as was the those who are there, the predecessors of Karatina Rugby Nomads. So, and I felt so good that Karatina we have such happening. But I'm left to wonder what happens in Nyeri County. We have so many teams. We have the Dekut, we have the Nyeri Polytechnic, we have the Karatina Nomads, we have the Karatina Town Select, where we have various teams, various players, high school players from around. They come together and they play. That was a section that was we used around 2018 to play rugby. So we have had so many good players. In fact, today I met a very good player who was Victor. Victor was a black blood player. So I met him today at the gate there. And I felt so good reuniting with this player. But it will be better if we reunited with these players in the contact spots where we play together and socialize, and we save ourselves from so many things. But now we don't have a place to play. We don't have the structures, the fields, the amenities. It's devastating already.
Nathan, what do you have as closing remarks jioni ya leo hapa Karatina?
Mogodi, thank you for coming. We need more people like you. Na nasema serikali ama the government, mkishindwa na kazi, tutachukua bendera na tutajifanyia sisi wenyewe. Tunasema ni sisi kwa sisi.
Thank you very much Nathan. Asante sana. Unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Francis Ndaro.
Francis, asante sana kwa kutukaribisha Karatina. Wewe ndio you actually you are the one who invited me directly to Karatina. Yes. So tell us about this event na umefanya kazi gani hapa kuhakikisha kwamba imefanyika?
Okay, we have first I'm Francis Ndaru. I'm a youth who is so engaged with so many young talents among Karatina. So we have been trying to think about the Tukokadi initiative, and sometimes it brings that tension of how will the government react or how will politicians react. So we thought of an event that can unite youths. We have thought of the tournament, and for around 3 weeks before the schools closed, we had a tournament that was so engaging in 2018. So we have been trying to think since then until now. We haven't had a tournament that is so engaging with the youth. So we thought, how can we come up with something that makes us so united? We thought of a tournament. We have been trying to mobilize resources amongst ourselves, and so far we haven't had a challenge. So because some of us are so supportive of the movement and so supportive of how youths can get new opportunities. So our aim is to try and mobilize more youths, how they can be engaged in politics, in the national decision making, so that we can be so into how we can develop our society.
Nikuulize, kuna kitu imenishangaza hapa. Sijaona wanasiasa area MPs, hiyo area MCA. How did you keep off politicians na vile wanapenda ku hijack vitu kama hizo vijana?
Okay, since 2024 we have been trying to we have seen the impact of social media, and we have known that through social media we can mobilize ourselves and make sure that this information is amongst ourselves. We have done it through WhatsApp and through other social media platforms to make sure that the youths also informed about the tournament. We can do more if these resources were in fact in our local areas. We could do more if who we elect through our processes. We know very well that they can help us, but when they get into power, they never react towards it. So we have been so okay. We have been so in how the youths react mostly about politicians. You can see in rallies, most of the people who are in the rallies are millennials, late millennials and boomers and Gen X. But how can youths be the ones making sure that these rallies talk about the problems that affect them? So we have to be informed of how youths can make sure that they are in the national decision making program. How can they get to the national level? Through employment and through talents, and others through education. Because some of us have degrees but we don't know how to get jobs. Ukienda pale job unafaa kuwa na 5 years experience, but when you yeah, in fact.
Hebu tuambie challenges zenye mmepitia ku organize event.
Okay, challenges zenye tumepitia ni resources. Mobilization of resources is not easy because some of us work on salary basis, but the money you get monthly, you have bills to pay, so you have to maybe cut some bills na unajinyima vitu zingine ili muweze kuhakikisha vijana wamejienjoy, vijana wako so engaged. Juu watu wengine wanapotelea huku. Of late Mathira tumekuwa na story ya watoto kupotea, and we have watoto wanatafutwa. Some of the kids are found dead, others are never found. We need to make sure that youths have somewhere that they can go process their minds, because some are facing family depressions and they are never okay. There's a stigmatization about talking about how your family treats you or how open you can be to one of your friends. So when we do these things, we need to be so informed about the issues affecting the youth, mostly politics sana sana zinaongeleleanga. Unapata wameongelelea story ya biashara, ama youth wengi hawana hizo biashara. So hata ukikuja umwambie atasaidika hivi akiwa na biashara, huo msee hana. Kama Nyota Fund ilikuwa inasema lazima ukuwe na idea zenye maybe ziko huku na zile opportunities zenye unapata msee zile idea anaweza fikiria labda mtu mwingine ashafungua hiyo job, so ako na challenges ya kupata hiyo goodwill ya customers. So we need to make sure that something must be done about youths. Youths need to be so informed about the issues that affect them, and money that is provided by that is supposed to be provided by the government, but it's never reached to us.
Safi sana. That is Frank, my host in Nyeri. I really appreciate the invitation. I am very very much encouraged by kazi ambayo mmefanya hapa vijana wa Karatina. Stadium iko hali gani?
So funny. Okay, mimi nimesomea huku. I've been born and raised in Karatina. Igrao kitu yenye naweza sema structure maybe imechange, labda choo na nile choo iko pale nyuma. Okay, we can talk so much about the toilet, but I have to mention politicians wanakula pesa yetu. We need to be so informed about that. Ile choo ukiangalia budget, wase wenye wanapitianga hizo documents za auditor general wanapatanga the money allocated by the treasury, it's never used, it's never utilized by the politicians the way it is supposed. In fact, every project, youths need to be so informed. These things pass under our hands. We just think hii ni karatasi siwezi soma, unaitupa. Lakini hiyo information is very crucial to your future. Watoto wako wanahitaji kuwa na hiyo information, ili by the time watoto wako wanakuja kufika age yako, they are so informed about the government, the national issues, the politics in their area. Stadium ya Grao ni hali mbaya. Grao ni red soil, wase wenye wamechezea red soil, alafu some parts they have diko na matope sana, alafu kuna mashimo za malls zinarushanga mchanga huko, so you know the hills that are formed, hiyo mall ikirusha hiyo mchanga, so vitu kama hizi hazifai kuwa zina happen, lakini government inahakikisha hii pesa inakulwa, na sijui they are so good at that. We need to ask questions, we need to be informed about information. Narudia hiyo sana, hiyo information, we need to be informed.
Thank you very much, Frank. I have nothing to add. Asante sana.